Chair now recognizes the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Pittenger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Afternoon, Chair White. Chair White, in your opening statement, you clearly conveyed that you are committed to the three-pronged statutory mission: to protect investors, maintain fair and orderly and efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. Included in that, do you read anything that would be considered social engineering?
I wouldn't, no.
Yes, ma'am. Well, in that light, over the last 5 years, you have spent thousands of man-hours and millions of dollars to defend rulemakings that really don't address the crisis and from our perspective, don't fit into the scope of mission, whether you're dealing with the conflict minerals issues or the resource extraction or the CEO pay disclosure rules that were just discussed. How do you relate your role in these issues? It seems to me to be a diversion, whether in terms of scope of mission. Is this an interest of yours? Is this something of the administration that you feel compelled to carry? Why would you move away from what clearly is your scope of mission? You're coming and you're wanting to increase your budget by 25%, at $1.5 billion right now to go to $1.888. It's a significant amount of money, and it seems to me that it's expansion of your footprint. It's expansion of your role and expansion of the bureaucratic entrenchment of your agency. As we look at the federal government today, people are concerned. They see the overreach. They see the footprint of the federal government. They see the impact. Look at our economy. A very slow economic growth of 2%. Do you appreciate the fact that maybe this death by 1,000 cuts in terms of the over-regulatory involvement, the engagement in so many of these unrelated efforts are having an adverse effect that may be well-intended, well-designed by those who share those concerns, but killing the goose that laid the egg. I mean, you're in trying to protect everything, you're hurting the overall cause.
Well, first, I very much believe in furthering our core tripartite mission, and I think I've talked about that at some length, and it has several aspects to it. I think what you may be alluding to, at least primarily, are some of the congressional mandates that the SEC was charged by Congress, and it's Congress, to carry out. And what I said a little bit earlier is I do believe when I have a congressional mandate, that means I carry it out. We try as hard as we can to carry it out in as cost-effective a way and as consistent with our mission as we can.
Chair White, that fits into your scope of mission?
Well, it is part of the mission given to us by Congress. It's part of the mission given to us by Congress.
As you stated earlier, to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, facilitate capital formation. Do these extra additional forays, do they really fit into that scope of mission?
I mean, I think we can't talk about them as a group. I mean, I think, we've obviously done a number of the mandates that you might put in that category, but that we have, certainly see some investor advantage to. But, but again, if it's a congressional mandate, I think we have an obligation to carry it out in the best way we can.
In closing, if there are excessive disclosure requirements that hurt our capital markets, if that's true, and would you buy into that there could be?
Part of what we're trying to do with the disclosure effectiveness review, is to make the disclosures more meaningful for investors, and obviously not to create gratuitous.
We're talking about an excessive amount.
Yeah, I understand.
We hear from the market continually the excessive burden of these disclosures. They increase the compliance cost. They make it more difficult to raise capital. All these things have a combined effect to slow our markets and impact our economy. Would you agree that the reality is that these excessive burdens are really having an adverse effect?
Well, I mean, it's one of the reasons we do that very deep cost-benefit analysis that I was describing before. I mean, we obviously want to look at,
but let's look at
not burdening, but enhancing.
Respectfully, I've just got a few seconds left. Respectfully, can I say, look at the results today. It's all about results. Can you say, with all your good judgment, that all this disclosures, all these requirements, all these mandates, all these compliance issues have been healthy as it relates to growing and expanding our economy, or has it had, honestly, an adverse effect?
I don't think it's static. I think we have to be focused on, as these rules go out that we think are important, looking at exactly that.
Thank you.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The